right with you. Hold up, get right with you, I'ma get right with you. Bad bitches, fuck up and dismiss them. Bad. I ain't really here to take no picture.
You know what sucks? You forget to zip up your damn jacket. And you're wondering why it's so cold. Well, that'd be because your jacket isn't zipped all the way up. And now you're sitting here stuck, waiting in traffic. Like the idiot you are. It's still cold, it's still blah, but yet here we are. I had to get out on the bike. I had to put something out personally. I don't know what I'm going to talk about in this video at all. I have zero plans of what I'm going to talk about, or if I'm even going to post this video. The season's like not really ending, but it is ending for riding. Like, we keep getting these crazy like fluctuations in temperature. I mean, that's a normal Virginia thing. If I have any subs that are from Virginia or have lived in Virginia, then you know that it goes from like hot to cold to cold to hot to cold to hot to cold to hot to blazing hot to just That's just Virginia for you. That's how it goes. So I want to talk about in this video what I'm thinking about doing with the channel. I know you guys notice I ride a lot of beginner's bikes, and there is some great content out on beginner's bikes and starting out as a motorcycle rider. So I think I'm actually going to create an entire series to help people learn like the ins and outs of beginning with motorcycles. You know, I've introduced one person this year to motorcycles that last year, no, I'll never get a bike. That's dumb. I'll never get a bike. I'm not stupid. I don't want to die. I'll never get a bike. And now he's got a bike. And he actually came to me. I wasn't actually pushing him to do it. You know, I jokingly said well over a year ago, hey, you should get a bike and start riding with us. And now, you know, a year later, he's gotten a bike, he's gotten his license, everything. And loving it, loving it. I constantly get pictures, texts, and he's constantly posting on Instagram about it. But I really want to concentrate on the beginner's bike aspect of things and the first starting out riders. So, I mean, I'm not that far into the game. I've had bikes, you know, I've been back on the road for a few years now. But I also had a time period where, you know, I didn't ride bikes forever. So what's the first thing you should really look into when you get serious about getting a bike? Obviously you look into the MSF course. The MSF course is going to give you a ton of knowledge and basic skills and things that, you know, you're going to think about when you're starting out on the road. So MSF course first. It's one of those things I'll never discourage somebody from ever going through one, because it's taught by motorcycle riders. The people don't want you to fail. They want to see everybody get on two wheels and enjoy it, and safely as well. They go through this, you know, like your first part of your course is literally like in the classroom, learning the basics. They go through all of the controls and everything. And honestly, I've never heard it put better. If you can ride a bicycle, you can ride a motorcycle. The only difference is what drives it. You know, on a bicycle, you're pedaling. On a motorcycle, this doesn't. And people that are scared about, like, oh, I can't really drive a manual, or I'm not that comfortable driving a manual, you know, but I want to ride a motorcycle, should I get an automatic? If you definitely just, you know, if you definitely, you know, don't want to ever shift gears, then yeah, an automatic's fine. Yeah, go ahead and get the automatic. If it puts you on two wheels and you're happy with it, that's fine. However, if you're willing to just suck it up and understand that you're going to have a little bit of a learning curve, saying that you can't drive a manual car is the reason that you can't own a motorcycle is bullshit. It's bullshit. Alright? First of all, when you're learning to drive a manual car, you're having to learn the dexterity of using your left foot to modulate the clutch. Now I ask you, think about this, which do you have better fine motor skills in? Your toes? And no, we're not counting picking up socks off of your floor because you're too lazy to bend over and pick it up with your hand. We're not talking about picking up socks off the floor with your toes. You have way more fine motor control in your fingertips, in your hands, than you do with your feet and your toes. And really, rev matching, all this stuff, it just comes naturally. You'll learn how to do it. So don't worry about that. Really, all you're doing is pulling the clutch in, pushing up to shift up. You can do that. Another thing that I've really heard a lot of times is, well, I don't want to ride by myself. And that's understandable. You know, definitely when you're first starting out, find somebody, reach out to somebody. I can tell you now, if you're in my area and you're just scared of getting out on the road by yourself, I mean, I'm easily contactable on Instagram or, you know, on a comment on one of my videos if need be. Reach out to me, like, hey, I've got a lot of days off during the month and everything. I'd be more than willing to meet up with a new rider and go ride with them while they're, you know, just getting used to it. You know, just getting used to being out on the road, because you know, you can grow up riding dirt bikes and everything else, but when you get out on the road for the first couple times, man, it's a whole different ball game. It feels weird. So your next step, figuring out what kind of bike you want. If you're going to start on a smaller displacement bike, which I will always suggest, as a general broad term, there are outliers. I did not start out on a small displacement bike, or at least not, you know, when I initially got my license and everything, I did not start out on a small displacement bike. Between the Rebel 300R and the 19 CB300R, sorry, did I say Rebel 300R? Yeah, just the Rebel 300 and the CB300R. Between those two, your difference is 3 horsepower. Which one do you like more? Which has the color that you like more? Color's not even that big of an option. You can always change the color of the bike. The seating position is actually very similar. Now, you are kicked back a little bit more on the Rebel than you are on the 300, than you are on the CB300, but it's a minuscule difference. You know, you're not looking at forward controls. You're both bikes have a very upright, very neutral body positioning, and I'm just using these as a guide. I'm not saying, you know, that's what you should start on exactly. Because there's plenty of bikes out there that are smaller size that you could start on. So let's say that you want to be the cool hip new kid and get the CB300R. Alright, cool, awesome. What are you going to do now? You're going to get out and ride the damn thing. thing that you have to think about is you're a new motorcycle owner with no experience. Now, if you're buying a bike used and you're paying cash for it, yeah, this doesn't so much apply. If you're financing a bike, or even if you're paying cash for a brand new bike, something that you're going to have to think about is insurance. Because I know me personally, I carry full coverage on everything, because that's just how my luck goes. If I didn't have full coverage on something would happen, and it could just be somebody backing into the bike and it getting all messed up, and I would have to pay out of pocket for it, you know, or something along those lines. Or a freak tornado happens in the mountains and my bike is the only thing that's damaged by the entire storm, and I was the only claim in the entire storm, but I only had liability only on the bike. So that's just how I view things. So you got to look at insurance on bikes. Now, ask yourself this: you have zero experience on a bike, you know, as far as the insurance company goes, you have zero experience on a motorcycle on the street. You've never owned one, you've never been on the street before, you've been through the MSF course. That gives you a little bit of discount. Most insurance companies do, I think, between 10 and 20%, don't quote me on that, but 10 and 20% discount a year if you have the MSF course. Well, which is going to be cheaper to insure? That CB300 or Rebel 300 that you were looking at? Or that 600cc inline 4 that plenty of people have wrecked and torn all the heck and had to file claims on and everything else because they weren't thinking about what they were doing and got in over their head, or just didn't have the experience. So we got the insurance costs of a brand new bike that you have to have full coverage on. There's no ifs, ands, or buts with that. If you're financing a bike, full coverage. Don't be an idiot, because then when something happens and that bike is totaled, you're still stuck out there with the loan payment. So don't be an idiot on that. But I can tell you, my first bike, I was a little older when I bought my first street bike. I sold a couple project cars, bought the bike of my dreams, and I didn't have to finance very much of it. I think I only financed like $3,000 or $4,000 of it. And yeah, my insurance was pretty cheap overall, because I hadn't had any, like wrecks or claims or, speeding tickets. And I was over 25. When I bought my first street bike, I was over 25. Then when I got back into it, I was like, okay, cool, it's been like 6 years, blah blah blah. I bought a sub $500 used bike that was a steal. I bought that, and I carried comprehensive and liability on it just in case something happened, but it was paid for. Like, even if I had to put a new engine in the damn thing, or find a new frame or something like that, like anything that I had to do to the bike was going to cost me less than $500. So there was no point in carrying full coverage on that bike. That being said, I decided to buy Fozzie here, my FC07. Well, I got into a world of pain. I didn't even think about it. Just, okay, I'm gonna go buy another motorcycle. I'm gonna go buy another motorcycle. It's no big deal, I don't have to worry, it'll be cheap. A little bit of sand there. Duh, because it snowed. Yeah, so like my initial quote on my motorcycle was $195 a month for full coverage. So I called up Geico and I was like, whoa, hold on here, guys. Actually, no, I was with Progressive. Called them, I was like, whoa, hold on here. And they're like, yeah, well, that's our price. So I went with Dairyland. I never had to file a claim with them. I was only with them for a couple months and wound up switching car insurances to Geico, and I went ahead and switched my bike insurance. And my insurance for the bike with Geico managed to be cheaper than Dairyland's, actually. But these are just some things that every new rider or rider first starting out really needs to consider.